which turns out to be really powerful when you're doing certain kinds of debugging. Here's a bunch of one-liners for dtrace, so just to give you a kind of a flavor. This goes, thanks Brendan, he's in the back room. I just ripped this right off of his page, I think. There's some really useful stuff, and in fact, here's an example of one of them. One of these one-liners, here's the one-liner right there, right? My system wasn't very busy, so the output is really boring. I literally dumped this off of a VM running on this system because I didn't have access to any VMs doing anything interesting. But you can see you can get this distribution data as well, which can be really useful when you're doing performance debugging. I'm going to skip over the whole contribution process because we are out of time. So I think we're done. Yeah.
What's the current situation of illumos and ARM support?
So there is a port of illumos to ARM. I don't know where those guys are at because they haven't talked to me recently, and I haven't seen any posts on them on the various lists. So I'm not sure whether that's active or not. I hope it is, but the conversations around that have been fairly quiet. I'd like to see some more work done there, but admittedly, all the commercial contribution is coming as x86 based. So that tends to be where the activity happens. Anybody else?
If you were going to name a driver that someone wanted to use as a base for, say, a networking device or a block device, what should they look at?
I would look at existing, some of the existing drivers, although there are some stunningly bad examples, unfortunately.
Is there one that you know of that isn't stunningly bad?
Well, for example, for an HPA, Megasas is not a bad name, or MPT is not a bad name. For a NIC, I'm partial to my own name, AFE. That actually stood for ADM Tech Fast Ethernet. Most of the NICs are end in E, just from historical reasons. Putting numbers in names is a really bad idea. And you do not want to put numbers at the end. So E1000G was a pain in the butt, and then because when you have E1000G, interface 1, and if you have VLAN, E1000G 0, so for the first instance of E1000G, colon 1. And it's just, or colon, if it's a VLAN, it might actually be colon and then another long number, and it just becomes unworkable. So that would be just steer away from numbers and you'd probably be mostly good.